just start off, though, Frank. I mean, one of the issues that's certainly been prominent for our readership is a concern about the rising number of people who might suffer from depression or have a mental health challenge. And when they come into the mental health system, they're given high strength medication, and it seems to make their problems worse. And it's something that you've been very vocal about, based on your own experience. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
I've been sectioned 3 times, and when I went into the first being sectioned, yes, I had problems. Yes, I was going through whatever I was going through, but when I come out of and they let me out on leave and whatever, the doses what they give me and left me there, numbed me out, felt like I didn't have no legs or whatever, and it was a dosage which a lot of people say they give black people more bigger dosage than anybody, but it just monged me out and left me like a cabbage, and I don't know how people can't stick up for themselves, how the system states that you have to take this, you have to take that, and the dosage what they give you, if you can't have somebody that you can talk to or explain how you are, what right have you got? You know, it's just a system just get you to do what they've got to do and force you, but you must be a human rights that you can complain and talk about it's too much what they're doing. But I've been saying that, but what's good for me may be not good for you. So they're saying me, you can't tell people they can't take medication. But if there's a lot of people out there suffering with the high doses and their doctor or their support team's not listening to them, telling them that it's too high. I met a guy the other day from Manchester, and he said that his sister's boy was telling the social team around what was going on, and they weren't really listening. The guy committed suicide, killed himself. So if I can't speak it and nobody's listening, I don't know how many more people's got to die to understand, because there's a lot of people taking medications and they ain't coming back. They ain't going nowhere. They ain't coming back out of there, because once you get the injection, once you get the lot of doses, they're gone for life.
When you first went in, obviously you were sectioned.
Yeah.
Did you tell the doctors about the fact that the medication just wasn't working for you? And did they listen to you?
No, they don't listen to you. They don't listen to you at all. You know, when you go into the system, they don't want to listen to you at all. They treat you as if you're nothing. You know what I mean? They make out that they care for you, but all they're looking for is to get a bed, get a number, and not really get into the root of the core, why you're feeling like that, why you're feeling down, what you're feeling from the medication. You're feeling very, very drowsy, very mongified. Sometimes you're staring at a wall like a crazy person. But everybody's made differently. But I've been through that. But there must be a different way they can approach things rather than over, because the medication what they give you is very, very highly addictive. You miss one, you get the shakes, and to come off it is bad for your liver, all them different things, but everyone's made differently. I'm only talking from the experience what I've had, and talking to a lot of people who's gone through the system where they treat you like a zombie, treat you like a puppet, and treat you like a rabbit by giving you all this medication. And the medication, the side effects, what you get from it is not good for nobody, I don't think.
And it's really poignant what you said, because there are a lot of black people who go into the mental health system experiencing exactly what you talked about, and they don't make it out, they don't get better. So how did it start to change for you? What was the catalyst?
One of the things what I used to tell the doctors, what used to come around my house, give me about, sometimes it would be in a day about 60 different tablets, saying take this one, that one takes, you take that one to counteract the side effects or whatever. Sorry. And there's so-called people what has come from Trinidad and Tobago, some people has come from Kenya, some come from Ghana, all over the place. I said, have you ever taken these medications? You know how it feels. They're just coming once every 2 months, giving me whatever I've got to do and wanting me to take. And I said, this messes up my head. You don't know how I feel. I can't sleep at night. I'm having dreams. My lip is coming up, and I'm nearly chewing off my lip. You know what I mean? You got to know what you're giving somebody. But all you're worried about is getting paid. The doctor's told you to give me this, and you're all involved in a charity, so doing the same thing, making out that you really care for me. I'm telling you, this stuff what you give me is very, very highly dangerous, and it's hurting me. I can't focus on it.
And one of the things, though, just going into your story a little bit more, right? So people looking at you would say, "Is Frank Bruno? He's top of his game, world boxing champion, money in the bank, happy family, adored by millions of fans." How can someone like him have mental health problems? What would you say to that? Is one of the reasons that you wrote the book is to show that that can happen to anyone?
A lot of different people who, you know what I mean, what I thought I could trust. And when I got divorced, a lot of people were so-called friends or brethrens or what you might call it or whatever. They've done a lot of strange things to me. You know what I mean? I was left in a big house. I'm very dyslexic. I couldn't work out different things. I drove myself here and there. I wanted to just to sort of like try and make up the money what I lost from the divorce, and I was rushing around, you know what I mean, doing this job, doing that job, and not looking after myself. So I trusted a lot of people, brought a lot of people in, and they just robbed me. Took this, done that, you know what I mean, just took the mickey out of me, and I just lost it, you know what I mean, I just had a breakdown, and it just started from there, you know.
One of the things that you mentioned in your autobiography was this feeling of being abandoned and alone. Is that a memory that's still quite
It's abandoned and alone, but once you go for a marriage breakup, either the kids stay with you or they go with their mum. I felt alone, but it's not no excuses, not nothing. I'm looking for no sympathy. That's the way the run-ins go. You know what I mean? When you go for a breakup, usually they go with either a partner or they go with both, but the kids went with their mum and left me. So I wasn't abandoned. It's just the way the run-ins go. That's the way life is, you know what I mean? So I'm not, when you say abandoned, it's like they left me. Yes, I got left. That's it. You know what I mean? Sometimes the man may get the rough deal of the situation, but it's no biggie small. It's just the way the run-ins go.
Yeah. One of the things that you've also been known for is putting out a positive message around mental health. So the importance of talking about the issue, better solutions, thinking about is medication the answer. Is that one of the things that you really want to get across with?
It'd be nice to get the core of what people are going through, what stress and what worries they got on their mind, rather than filling them up with medication, rather than giving them injections and not knowing what their problem is. And that's why I'm doing the Frank Bruno Foundation, to get the core of the thing, doing well-being, and get a structure for people to look after themselves. Like I done something with loose women the other day, where people strip off, look themselves in the mirror, and some people, if you look yourself in the mirror, you're not happy, do something about it. You ain't got much to blame. If you're not happy with yourself, try and look after yourself, look yourself, hypnotize yourself, or motivate yourself to look after yourself. It's not rocket science. Sometimes it's 24 hours in a day. Get yourself together if you can, and try and, you know what I mean, just get a little bit of endorphins, get a little bit of exercise, and get your life together. Healthy body, healthy mind.
Is that what we can expect from the book? What sort of things are you kind of talking about in the new book?
In the book?
Yeah, in the new book.
You got the book, so you read it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah.
For readers who haven't, for readers who haven't,
buy the book and you'll see what's in the book. It's quite simple.
Yeah,
it's not difficult. Yeah, buy the book. It's only £20 plus VAT. You might get a discount if you buy it now early.
Okay.
And read the book, and you'll see what's in the book.
But one of the things, though, obviously, as I was going back to the whole point about a positive message about mental health, and one of the things that comes across again, for our readership, is a lot of criticism of the mental health system, primarily because perhaps it's not as culturally sensitive as it could be. People don't listen to people who are in it when they don't want to take medication. Is that something that still concerns you?
It really concerns me, because I went down to the House of Parliament the other day, and Tracy Crouch, she wanted to see about celebrities or whatever, but the government is looking at numbers and making the ching and seeing what they can do, like pharmaceutical companies, and make a money and whatever. So I don't think the government are too worried about what's happening. All they're looking for is to make money, to be quite honest. So there's a lot of needs to be done. So I rest my case, and I've got to be very careful what I say. But I don't think the government gives two hoots about what is looking about numbers and the ching ching.
You've got a system that perhaps some would say is failing a lot of people, not looking at their overall health, and the whole kind of holistic approach. Do you think that people are really starting to get what you're saying now?
I think a lot of people understand where I'm coming from. Certain different countries, you go to China, they will cramp down people. North Korea, there are drops of manners on people, but Big Brother's watching you, and they make out that it's a system where a lot of people try and fool a lot of people, but a lot of people are understanding certain different things. But I can't understand how these so-called people that come around the house and section you and force you to take the medication, force you to take it, If you don't take it, they'll hold you down and chuck it in your face, and you haven't got no right in saying that ain't doing me no good. They're telling you have to do that. I've seen some situations where I've been sectioned, I sit down there, it's been like an educational where they beat up people and rough up people and do all different things like that, and drop some injection in their backside, and they don't know where they are, and they're dribbling and talking to themselves, and the top government people don't go in and see what is happening. So all these so-called doctors and people high above, they're forcing people to take certain things, but you haven't got a say.
And of course, that's, I think, one of the things you were saying earlier, that if you've got a platform and raise awareness so that you feel you can do something, because there are a lot of people who don't have that, who are in the system, and perhaps
a lot of them are going to stay in the system for the rest of their life, because it's a money spinning thing, and it's very, very cool, man. Very, very cool. I'm not saying that everybody don't need some form of medication, everybody don't need some sort of help, but this is the higher doses to mong you out and the side effects. Look into it, man. I think the government are trying to bring it down, because they told me I'd be on medication for the rest of my life, and I ain't took on medication in 18 months. They try and brainwash you and confuse you and tell you all different things, and it's just a horrible merry-go-round, But what's good for me might not be good for you, so I emphasize this, because when you talk about something, you've got to leave yourself open for criticism on what people have to rely on them things. So I've got to be very, very careful how I'm explaining myself.
But what I understand from what you're saying is that individuals perhaps have more power to perhaps, play a role in their own recovery if they have mental health issues, and that they should be listened to. It could be...
They won't listen to them. Yeah. If they want you to be a puppet, rely on them, rely on the drugs, the powerful drugs, so they're very highly... I'm not a professor. I can read books and study into things, but if you study lithium and the high drugs, what they're giving you, you got to take them for a week. You take it off for one day, you start shaking, and it's people's done researches that it's bad for your kidney. But if you try and get a buff guy that can look on computers and Google whatever, you see most of the things is rots out your brain, rots out your kidneys, and it's not very good for you in long term. But a lot of these doctors don't look at that. All they're looking at is numbers and feeding them guinea pig, and change it and go on to the next one where they're, getting a little ching change behind it, not really caring about the person.
You mentioned, feeling well for a period of time.
Yeah.
How are you managing, your situation? Because I think it was bipolar you were diagnosed.
They say I got bipolar, but sometimes all through my life, so as I go through a spurt, if I get a little bit of change, I go for a spending spree. But I've worked for my money. I ain't robbed nobody for my money. If I want to go on a spending spree, I'll go on a spending spree.
Yeah.
I've had a big family. I've had kids where when Christmas comes, I'll get big black bags. I'll go to the shop and buy all different toys. So I'm entitled to, but they say that I'm spending. got bipolar, but you know what I mean. I had 75 acres. A garden shop was closing down, so I bought 400 conifers at 25p a time. But they would make that out to be bipolar. But the trees went in all different parts of the garden. But that's how I think. You know what I mean? Like they would say I got bipolar, but all through my life I must have had bipolar then, because when I was young, that's how I used to drop it.
Yeah, yeah. So even diagnosis like that can be stigmatizing, and they can block your recovery in a way. Is what you're saying?
It can block recovery in a way because I bought myself a car the other day, yeah, and it was a car that I didn't know how it was. I went down the market, accidentally left the brake off the car. Lucky for me, it ran into. I'm mad. If I'm in my garden, I'm playing my music and I'm singing to a song, I'm crazy. The neighbours think that I'm mad. But I had two guys. One was a prison guard, and one was a normal guy. And they would listen. They're DJs, and they were doing my garden, and they got the car boot open in my yard. What nobody could see with the fences. They were dancing and rocking. I said, "Boy, you got to be very, very careful because if the neighbours see you, they will get your section." Because that's how I used to drop it in my garden. If I'm listening to a little bit of Bashment, a little bit of Lovers Rock, and I'm singing the song, they will take that as if I'm going mad.
So in a way, that's a lesson for mental health professionals that don't be so quick to stigmatize, to judge, or to label. That actually there's a much more holistic picture. It's not as always as bad as they seem.
A lot of people that I was sectioned with, that's the same thing that the neighbours will spread propaganda about them, and I've got a sound system at home, yeah. All through my life, from when I left school, I'm a frustrated DJ. We used to have a sound in South London, yeah. I got some sort of like dub plates that I even took out the box, but I was gently getting out my plates and playing my music, and I love my music. That's all. I don't really go out to clubs and pubs, and I do my thing at home and just mind my own. But yes, I might have played the music loud. Yes, it might have been well past the thing, but I'm not troubling nobody. I'm not bothering. Bothering maybe with the sound, but I just playing the lyrics and saying the lyrics, but the people judged that, and the neighbours informed on me and was spreading all different things. So now I drop it. Now I don't play the music. I play the high sounds, and I wonder what next they're going to come out with. You know what I mean? So I have to be very, very cautious, because when they come around the house, they didn't come around with 2 policemen. They came around about 7 with all different cars and ambulance outside, and it was embarrassing because my mum always told me, don't bring the police around your house. So I've got that mentality. It's a cringy, but that's how I do things. But looking at Sylvie, that's what I've got to play with,
Yeah. Frank, one of the things that you've been very, very vocal about in the past is men supporting each other. So, for example, if one friend is going through some of the issues that you are going through, just to be there and support, because I think one of the issues that men face, particularly black men, is perhaps they might say to themselves, I don't want to chat my business to anybody, or I don't want to be seen as crazy. How important is it that, particularly if you're a man going through, or even a woman going through mental health problems, that you just lend that hand of support?
Sometimes it's nice if you can have a chat, Sometimes if you can exchange different lyrics and different vibes that you've been through, or what you've gone through, or what someone else has gone through, it does help, because people don't chat enough. People keep themselves to themselves, keep their own business. And like, if you go to Jamaica, if you go to Dominica, I've learned, if you go in someone else's property, they've got some dogs that will come down there, bite you up or tear you apart. When people have their space and when they're in their home, that is they work hard for their bits and pieces and to have their things. So people don't want other people to know their business, so everybody will lock up and tighten up and not let them. I'm going through a bad patch, you know what I mean? I'm going through a worry. Through my dad, when my dad's sister, my auntie, she was going through a mental stage. But in Dominica, how they drop it, where my grandma used to live, I see my auntie just running through the woods, man, and it was very, very hard to really. She had a mental thing, but just let her go. A woman just running through the woods like an animal, up and down, and it was very, very sad. But probably my family's got to go through that. But if you could talk, try and get a little bit of help, and be very, very sympathetic, it'd be nice. But people ain't gonna let. It's very hard now for people to talk about mental health. Very, very shameful. It used to be years ago, but people are understanding. People are going through their stress and their worry. You know what I mean? And sometimes it plays on you, and your head is hurt. Oh, damn, my head is hurting me, and things are rough, and things are not working together. In you're working and you're getting your wages, and things ain't tallying up. You know what I mean? With the bills that you're getting and the stress that you're probably getting from your kids and the school, and someone's probably bullying you at work, and you want to tell them to go and stuff their job, but you can't tell them to stuff their job because the wages would have to tally up with the wife and whatever. So it's nice to talk, you know.
Did you have that support when you were going through what you were going through?
I didn't. I could have had the support, but I never told people about my business too much. I just kept myself to myself. You know what I mean? But when the pressure cooker boils up and you hear the whistling and the top's nearly coming off, that's how I was. I don't tell people my business. I try and keep it all in. I don't tell people chat my business, because people are too bad-minded out there to put VAT on anything you tell them about your business. So I just kept most of my business to myself.
But obviously that's sort of changed now, obviously, with the book and you talking openly about.
Yeah, I do. I
do
change. I try and keep people informed. You know what I mean? That they got a chat, and I've got people around me that helps me, like with the PA and my agent and whatever. But even them, I don't really. I chat, but I just keep myself to. I'm happy around my own bubble. You know what I mean? I'm very. You know what I mean? I'm not a loner, but I just keep it real. You know what I mean? I'm getting what I got to do. I'm a grafter. I'm a workaholic, up and down the country, doing what I'm doing. But I'm just happy, just keeping myself to myself, minding my own.
Yeah. And how supportive have your family been through the whole journey?
Yeah, they've been very, very good. They've been very, very good. Very, very good. But there's always a but they've been very good.
Yeah. And I mean, in terms of, obviously, one of the things that you're hoping to do is or spread a positive message about mental health. How does the Frank Bruno Foundation fit into that?
It fits into that because it's a wide range of people. When I'm trying to do non-contact boxing to get them fit, do a little bit boxing training. There's a lot of boxers out there. Some are struggling, some are going through bits and pieces. And I meet a lot of people here and there what say how good boxing training is. Not going in there to go and batter somebody or go to find someone at work and going to get a pair of gloves or to just hold the pads up, hold the bag, hit the bag, do some skipping, do some exercise, and just try to get the endorphins working or trying to get fit. Because up and down the country, boxing is a very, very popular game. But when I say boxing is a popular game, I don't want nobody to go and kill each other or go and beat up each other. Just get the form of getting fit and setting themselves a goal and looking after themselves and feeling strong body, strong mind, you know? And the well-being classes where they can go, because I've done some counselling, and just to give them a little bit of tip here and there and get a little structure going on in their life, you know? Because pressure and what you eat, how you look, how you feel is a very, very big part of mental health. And people don't really understand that, you know what I mean? Of checking themselves and looking after themselves, watching what goes in their mouth and their diet and feeling good. Because sometimes we always feel down and lethargic and not confident in yourself. You just try and give someone a lift, say, "Why you look good today, man?" And you know what I mean? Look, you know what I mean? That little bit just gives you a little spark and a spring, you know what I mean? In your step. It's psychology, but our grandma used to use psychology on us, our mum used to use psychology on us. Why can't you use it on yourself?
Yeah. Just finally, Frank, I mean, you know, listen, one of the, like I said, there's a lot of concerns about the mental health system, and one of the things you said is that it doesn't always kind of listen to people. What would your key message be to mental health professionals in terms of how they can really help people on their recovery? Really give them the support they need rather than the whole medication issue, as you mentioned.
It's such a difficult thing. Everybody has some form of stress or some sort of like worry or whatever. But if you can reassure certain different people, and some people lack confidence in themselves, you know what I mean? Some people can go out there and dance and you know what I mean, got some rhythm. Some people go in the corner to sit down there and stiffen up and just look there and not get out of it, you know what I mean? But some people a lot of things play on people's mind. So if people could talk a little bit more, get to the core of their problem, tell them what's going on. I met a guy yesterday. I come out the petrol station. I said, "Why are you doing that, man?" "Oh, the government now look after me. You know what I mean?" I said, "Boss, but it must be a way that you can not stay in the petrol station and coal up yourself like that." "No, man, the government is not." I said, "Why are you blaming the government? You're out here." And I give him a little change. The guy ran away. He must have run away to go and get what was making him get there. So, you know what I mean? You can't make an excuse like the government is not. The government, but you look healthy, and you look like you're there, and you know who. I'm not saying you know who I am, but you know what time it is. Why are you doing that? But yeah, that the government, man, and I look after you. And I said, change it, you know what I mean? Change it around, man, and look after yourself. But I only gave him a little bit of change, but I give him a 100. He was running somewhere, wherever he was going to, you know what I mean? But if you can get a little, just look after yourself and think positively and do the right things. Everybody suffers in some sort of like way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the man today was asking me, how do you feel when them guys are writing your mum a letter? The Nazi guys or whatever. I felt away. It hurt me. It really, 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 really hurt me. But what do you want me to do? Do you want me to go and see them and go get section again? And go and be put in Broadmoor to go and take some other medications where I ain't going nowhere. But it hurt me. That was my mum. You know what I mean? Sending the letters saying that they're going to kill her and do all different things like that. It's very, very powerful. But you know what I mean? I had some people nick some money off me. A lot of money, read the book. But, what you know what I mean? What people say, how do you feel? What are you going to do about it? What do you want me to do? Get the shit out, or what would you want me to do? I've got to sit down there and take it. But it ain't nice. I had a £38,000 watch nicked out of my house, which I let people in, and you think that they're going to treat you right, but they're just mugging you off. But I don't deal with people again. I just keep myself to myself and do what I've got to do and get on with what I've got. I don't trouble nobody, but I have worked hard for the little bit of space what I've got, but I don't want people to come and trouble me. It's as simple as that. But anyhow I rail up, anyhow I show a sign of aggression, they want to bring these so-called doctors or whatever to come and section me and hold you down and keep you down so I can be an example for everything. So I just got to hold things down much more than anybody else has got to hold things down. But
yeah. You mentioned that, the whole debate around mental health was a little bit shameful. People found it difficult to talk about. You feel hopeful that that's changing now, that there's a little bit
I'm hoping that it changed, but everybody just watches everything that you do, monitors everything what you do. If you go down the market, you buy 1 and 2 planting, you buy 10 oranges, you go, mad me, you buy 10. You know what I mean? If I'm on the go, if I get me a little rice and peas and get 2 sets of rice and peas to put in the freezer to monitor my day, what I got to do, and my week I got to do, I'm crazy. You know what I mean? So everything is watched. I bought the car and I accidentally left the brakes off, I'm gone mad again. So, you know what I mean? Everything you do, that's why sometimes I feel like a prisoner in my own house. But I would rather just chill out, do what I've got to do, and just in my own bubble, just do and be happy, you know what I mean? Because it's not like paranoid, but people ain't got nothing better to do than to watch someone and just glad if they trip up. You know what I mean? Rather than see someone go forward and be happy.
And that's what you feel. Do you feel that makes it difficult to get your message out? Do you think so? Because you are.
I think a lot of people understand my message and knowing what I'm going to talking about, and know you get through the clouds and sit down and reason with people. People know what's going on. You know what I mean? Because I see an Indian doctor the other day. I see a Jamaican. I see a Scottish man. I see all different men, and they're all saying the same thing. What you're saying is nothing different. I see patients, what have, you know what I mean? The system tried to lock them down with exerting them with medication. So I know what I'm talking about. A lot of other people know what I'm talking about, but I've got to be careful because some people, you've got to cut it to the cloth and you've got to drop it a bit different with them, because they'll be saying I'm trying to tell people not to take no medication or whatever. But all I'm trying to say, any medication, anything, even a Viagra, you don't take the whole tablet. You might take a quarter, just give you that little bit of kick. But it has side effects, you know. Aspirin would have side effects, you know that. If you drink a Guinness, one is okay, but we as hogs and pigs will go and mash up the Guinness. You know what I mean? So if you can monitor yourself, whatever thing that you do, it'll be much more better place and understanding. But we as human beings, we are hogs. We don't know how to pace ourselves or to do whatever. You know what I mean? Some people will go to prison, they will get some roll-ups, but they'll stretch the roll-up and make it last because they know how last it can. But when they come out of prison, they will get back and they won't care. But when they're in there, they will, you know what I mean, do everything and pace things out and monitor it, you know. But you know exactly where I'm coming from, where I'm coming from. When they're out in the system, the roll-up will get bigger and fatter. But when they've got to cut it to the cloth, they will pace themselves, you know what I mean? But you know, all I'm trying to say, anything you're taking, anything you're doing, it's got to be moderation. But when you've got a government forcing things down you and over exaggerating and keeping people down for the sake of keeping down, not giving them a leeway and getting to the core of the root, I don't think it's no more different than any other country. What's keeping people down, what they're moaning about, they ain't giving them their human rights or their freedom.
Frank Bruno, thank you very much for
no problem.
the voice. Much
Cheers.
appreciated.
I hope you understand where I'm coming from.
Absolutely.
No problem.
You know, and it's a great interview. Thank you so much.
No
That's
problem.
great.
Cheers. Thank you.